It's a new year, but yet again, we have another Ohio State quarterback. But oddly enough, CJ Stroud is unlike any other Ohio State quarterback we've seen over the past 15 years. While we've had quarterbacks like Terrell Pryor, JT Barrett, Cardell Jones, Dwayne Haskins, and recently, Justin Fields, players who are known for their athletic ability, CJ Stroud stands out as the lone pocket passing quarterback that has come from Columbus. In one of the weaker quarterback classes that we've had in a while, Stroud has the chance to be the second quarterback taken off the board behind Alabama quarterback Bryce Young. Today, I'm going to show you some film on what makes Stroud a potential top 10 pick in the upcoming draft. And also, I'm going to show you what is keeping him from being the number one overall pick in the upcoming draft. Two things are apparent when you watch CJ Stroud play. His arm strength is awesome, and his accuracy is awesome with a clean pocket. But remember the clean pocket part, because that's super important. We'll talk about what happens when he doesn't have a clean pocket later. Ohio State would constantly run the concept of a clear out route. Number two is going to run a seam route up the middle of the field. He's going to pull the defender in yellow with him up the field, which is going to leave Marvin Harrison Jr. wide open on a deep in route over the middle of the field for a walk-in touchdown. All CJ Stroud has to do is hit him in stride so he doesn't have to stop, fall down to make a catch, hits him in stride perfectly, as you're going to see right here, for a walk-in touchdown. This happened routinely over and over and over again. Stroud's accuracy all over the field is great. This throw that CJ Stroud makes against Notre Dame is actually pretty insane. I mean, it's a really sick throw. From the broadcast view that we're watching right now, it doesn't look that crazy. It looks like he does an out route, maybe a deep curl, then he throws it to his outside shoulder, which he does. But watch from this angle. Look at where he places this ball. Over that defender that's going to cut underneath, away from the corner that's pressing on the inside. He throws it to the outside shoulder of the receiver, away from anybody. Allows the receiver to break away and score a touchdown. That's perfect placement. If that ball is anywhere else, it might get caught. It might get deflected, but it's definitely not going for a touchdown. This play here is awesome. My jaw literally dropped when I saw him make it. First, I like how he avoids pressure in the pocket. I think that's one of his weaknesses is when pressure's in his face, the throws he makes. But here, he sidesteps, resets his feet. Maybe he stares down his receiver a little bit, as you'll see that defender on the edge starts to creep back. But look, Stroud puts it right over his fingertips and lays it up high outside for Marvin Harrison to make a great play. And he does. You can't lie. That's a really impressive throw. I like this play here because it shows off two things. One, CJ Stroud can read a defense at a pretty basic level. And two, man, his arm is really awesome and it's naturally awesome, right? There's not a lot of effort in this throw. He just basically drops back and just fires it. It's a laser to the outside. It's great. But from the reading a defense perspective, he's going to see that that outside receiver attracts the attention of the outside defender. The defender's going to stick with him on a whip route towards the sideline. So that leaves a wide open spot at the secondary, in the second level, near the sideline, to where that safety can't make a play on the ball on that out route. And Stroud has the ability to stick his foot in the ground, throw it hard, throw it accurately towards the sideline for a great completion. And once again, here just shows off his great accuracy. He's going to come off the play action, look right, go back middle of the field, hit his receiver down the seam for a perfect completion. And I'm going to pause it right where he makes the catch. This is like literally a perfectly thrown ball. Perfect. I'm throwing around the word perfect a little too much in this evaluation because CJ Stroud isn't perfect. But this throw, back to back that I'm showing you, this throw is perfect. There's nothing wrong with this pass at all. Stroud gets a little pressure, he sidesteps, but he doesn't bail out, he sidesteps, keeps his feet under him, and makes a great throw downfield. And look where the placement is. I'll pause it again right when he makes the catch. Over the shoulder, where the ball is perfectly in stride for him to catch it and run. He doesn't have to turn around. He doesn't have to backpedal. He doesn't have to spin and flip over his left shoulder. Stroud puts it perfectly in his breadbasket to where he could keep running and get a long touchdown. Now, I want to show you some deep throws from CJ Stroud. Here against Notre Dame, he's going to drop back and he's immediately going to know where to go with the ball, fire it downfield. And the two things I like about this throw are, one, it shows off his arm, right? I mean, that's a 50-yard throw that he puts pretty much on the money over the right shoulder for a great catch, great touchdown throw. But second, you'll see from more throws as I show you, he doesn't just have to put touch under the ball. He can fire it with strength and get it on a line downfield. But he can also have touch and throw it over the shoulder, put air under it, let it drop down to the receiver. It's not just Either you get the really hard throw or you get the, I don't have a great arm, so I kind of have to lob it up there and put a lot under it ball. He could do both. Here's another great deep shot against Arkansas State. CJ Stroud's going to come off the play action. And the one thing I love is that he immediately knows where to go with the ball. He knows he has one-on-one coverage of Marvin Harrison Jr. at the top of the screen. He immediately comes off the play action, flips his hips, throws the ball immediately, goes there, and hits it perfectly in stride. Once again, I'm using that word perfect, but that throw is awesome. It hits him right in stride, and he just barely gets tackled instead of it being a long touchdown. Here's a great throw against Michigan State where he comes off the jet sweep play action, turns and fires it down the middle of the field for a touchdown. And I think this is another good throw. You might look at it from the broadcast view, which we just watched, and say, maybe that was a little underthrown, but I disagree. You're going to see number 4. He's kind of running dead straight up the middle of the field, but when Stroud throws this ball, he throws it a little bit to the left, more in the open space away from the defender. This allows the receiver to run under the ball, separate even more from the corner, go get the ball, and make a play after he catches the ball and score a touchdown. I think it's a great throw. Here's another impressive throw from CJ Stroud. They're at the 30-yard line, he drops back, and once again, he immediately knows where to go with the ball. He looks right, but he comes back left, throws a jump ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. up top, away from the corner, and in between the safety. So he fits it in that nice little gap there, up top to where Marvin Harrison can jump up, make a great hands catch, and come down in the end zone. The ball doesn't force him out of bounds or overthrow it or make him really, a really acrobatic catch to where if that safety comes over and makes a good hit on him, it could draw the ball loose. It's perfectly thrown. Once again, I use that word perfect. And let me show you one last jump ball that I loved from CJ Stroud. Here he comes off the play action. Once again, immediately knows where to go with the ball. Throws it to Marvin Harrison, who it feels like he throws to every time. But Marvin Harrison comes down with a great catch. I like the ball placement here. One, of course, it gives the receiver a chance to make a play, right? It's maybe a smidge underthrown, like a little bit. But I think it's a pretty good throw. I mean, realistically, the corner has his back to the quarterback. He can't see where the ball's coming. That gives Marvin Harrison the complete advantage to come up with a nice catch for a touchdown. Now, in the NFL, what that really does for an offense is that is just a perfect defensive pass interference thrown ball right there, where the defender doesn't have his back turned. He's in the stomach of the receiver. That's a defensive pass interference call every time. So that's just a great throw from both aspects. All right, so now that I used the word perfect way too many times when describing CJ Stroud's throws, let me show you why it would be a big surprise if CJ Stroud was the first quarterback taken in the upcoming draft. Because for as good as the kid is with a clean pocket, when the pocket is crowded and he gets pressure in his face, CJ Stroud turns into a different player. So in the big game against Georgia this year, CJ Stroud played really well. And I'm not at all saying he crumbled under pressure in this game because contrary to what I'm actually saying, he played really well against Georgia and dealt with pressure well. But on this specific throw, you're up 11. This is a big time throw because obviously you're going for it here. You're not just checking down, trying to punt away, get out of your end zone. You're trying to make a throw to get a first down. Look at what happens when he gets pressure right up the middle. Stroud gets the pressure and he doesn't step into the throw at all. Now watch it from this angle and watch his feet. Don't even watch the ball, watch his feet. He never takes a step into this throw. He uses all upper body, all arm. And then what happens? He airmails this throw. What happens if that throw got picked off? Sure, Ohio State ends up losing at the end of the game, but if this play gets picked off, that changes the whole momentum of the game just because CJ Stroud didn't step into a throw because he was scared of pressure. And here's another throw where you go, man, just if you could just step into this throw. I've seen you make this throw before where you throw a one-on-one ball in the red zone to Marvin Harrison up top, make a good location throw. I've shown you these throws earlier in the video. But here, what happens? Right here, Stroud doesn't step into the throw at all. If anything, he fades away and throws off his back foot. And maybe he thinks he can get away with it because he does have that big arm. That's usually the case with some of these quarterbacks that do have big arms where they go, I'll throw off platform. I can fade it. I can make this throw. But with pressure, it doesn't work out. You need to step into a throw and make a dart downfield or put a little lob on the ball. Whatever the case may be, you need a good base under you. And right here, Stroud with pressure in his face didn't even come close to having a good base. Here's another throw against Iowa where Iowa was getting pressure all day on Stroud. Here, he looks to the left and wants to throw the out route, and he sails it. Once again, he sails a throw. And you'll see from the slow-mo here in the zoom in, look at his base. Did he step into that throw at all? I don't think so. It felt like he did a kind of a hop, a fadeaway throw. And he has the big arm, but when you do that, your accuracy's all off and he airmail throws. Now let's jump to the Indiana game. Here it's 3rd and 8. Pressure comes up the middle. Stroud has enough time to make a throw, plant his feet, but he doesn't, right? He takes the hit, he fades on the throw, and this time his arm fails him, right? He has that big arm, but instead of airmailing it, instead of sailing the ball, he doesn't have enough strength on it. He doesn't have a good enough base to put power behind this ball. And look, the ball's low and outside and it drifts away. When it comes to playoffs, every yard matters. Now, in real life, the kicker does make this kick after CJ Stroud throws his ball out of bounds. He does. So I guess it's no harm, no foul. But in most situations, college kickers suck. And as we learned from that game-winning kick that the kicker missed by a mile left, maybe he's not actually that great. So any yards count. But here, CJ Stroud faces pressure up the middle. It comes quick from Georgia. But he misses not one, but 2 wide open receivers. Maybe he'd even want to throw it down the middle of the field. Maybe he was scared that he might airmail it. He didn't want to risk it. I understand that. But you had the wide open check down that would have got you 5 to 10 extra yards of just extra space closer to the end zone for a kick. Every yard matters. But instead, Stroud doesn't handle the pressure well. He fades away and airmails it out of bounds. Now, I want to take you to another area where I think CJ Stroud struggles, and that's throwing on the run. Here, it's against Iowa, and it's a good throw, right? He rolls out to the left, he gets his body going, and he throws a really good ball. It's right on the money, it's right on the numbers, gets it to his receiver, receiver runs out of bounds, 1st down, 4th and 2, gets it. Great. But let me show you this. 2 plays later, the Buckeyes call another designed rollout, play action out to the right. Oh, Marvin Harrison Jr. wide open. But he misses it. He overthrows the receiver where it was wide open. It's an easy catch and throw that you have to make. And you can see it here. He's not happy with himself. He knows he just missed an easy touchdown. And here's another example of him hitting one throw one time, but then missing it again. Here against Iowa, once again, in the red zone, 4th and 1. This is a great throw. He gets it right to the sideline, low and away where only Marvin Harrison Jr. can get it, away from the defender. He's on the run, throws it with a lot of velocity. Really good throw. And here we are. We're back again in the playoffs against Georgia. And here's the identical play, literally the same play I just showed you against Iowa. This throw was even easier, actually. There's less coverage from the defender against Marvin Harrison Jr., but yet CJ Stroud just throws it too far outside and makes it way too difficult of a catch to make for Marvin Harrison. Maybe he could have caught it still, but why do that when you could just throw it right on his body? The defender is yards away from Marvin Harrison Jr. You don't have to make this throw more complicated, but CJ Stroud does. And the last thing I really want to focus on is showing you that CJ Stroud is not much of an athlete. Now, I'm not saying he's a complete statue where he can't move at all, but at times, he's not very mobile, and he kind of chooses not to be. Here specifically against Iowa, once again, I think pressure came all day, and he was nervous to run. He wanted to make throws. And here, doesn't Tom Brady literally run for this ball and get a 1st down? I think he does. But Stroud is just too busy looking downfield and has no desire to actually run, to get away and scramble. There's very few times you see CJ Stroud scramble that wasn't designed. Here, look, he draws back. Look at all the open space he has for a 1st down. Instead, he hesitates, he waits. The defender's on the ground and gets up and makes a tackle. That's not great. Now, here's a read option keeper that he actually decides to hold on to. He sees the DN 91 collapse, and Stroud takes off. He reads a few blocks, and he actually makes a big gain out of this. I think most guys would have scored a touchdown here, but you can see he's a little hesitant to run after, he's looking downfield. He's looking at defenders. Instead of trying to get in the end zone, I think he actually kind of goes, okay, I'm cool going out of bounds here. Maybe, smartly so, but he can move a little bit. In the last play that I want to show you is this spin out scramble that he has against Georgia, which is impressive because, like I said, I think he doesn't do pressure well, right? He doesn't face pressure well. But here against Georgia, which are the best athletes in the country, he spins out of a sack and he runs and he makes a defender miss and he actually gets a 1st down, which is really impressive. So, like I've been saying, is he athletic-ish? Sure. He can make some plays. He's not a pure statue in the pocket. There's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL. Like Matt Ryan's not making this play. But CJ Stroud, I wouldn't say he's going to go out into the NFL and he's going to run for 500 yards and scramble for 10 touchdowns. That's not likely. So, as we look forward to the 2023 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans have the first pick overall. And I don't think CJ Stroud is really in the running for the first overall pick. I think that's going to be Bryce Young, and I think that's going to just basically stick there. I don't think that's going to change. So, as we look a few picks later, the first team that really needs a quarterback is going to be number 4 overall, the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are done with Matt Ryan. I can pretty much guarantee that. I don't think they really want to go down the road with Sam Ehlinger, so they're in the market for a QB. And right now, it seems that the Colts are torn between CJ Stroud and Will Levis out of Kentucky. I think CJ Stroud makes a lot of sense here because they do have a big physical receiver, Michael Pittman, who I think is really great actually, even though having kind of a disappointing year. Paris Campbell, if he comes back, that's another receiver that's just a fun playmaking type of receiver. They have big athletic tight ends, and not to mention, having a great offensive line, even though they took a step back last year, if they can get back to the level they were 2 years ago with Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, I think that makes a lot of sense for CJ Stroud to go to the Indianapolis Colts at number 4 overall.